the whole premise of Operation, well, first Midnight Hammer, that the Iranians are evil, that they chant death to America, they chant death to Israel, they have been the #1 state sponsor of terror. They are, to me, an existential threat. I don't even have the patience to deal with stupid people that don't understand evil in our time.
PBD Podcast brings on Sean Hannity. And let me tell you, I don't feel great about this. Let me know what you guys think along the way, but I'm not the biggest fan of Hannity. Obviously, he has some values that I like, but on the whole, I view him as sort of a neocon. Obviously, he's very pro this war. There's a lot of other things that he's pro, but let's dissect this along the way, and I'm going to give my take, and I really do think the podcast, the guys like Vinny, and I think they've gone off the rails, and when it comes to this particular issue, and I think they've kind of internalized this propaganda that they're being fed. I'm not sure if they're being paid. I don't know exactly what's going on. I generally like them on the whole, but in this particular scenario, I'm not very happy about where this is going. Take a listen.
And I think I see President Trump as learning 3 historical lessons, and I'd love for all 3 of you to weigh in on this. 1, he learned from Reagan, peace through strength. 2, he learned the last 100 years of human history, which proved that there was evil, and that's Mao in China, Stalin in Russia, that's Hitler in Germany, that's Mussolini in fascism, that's Tojo Japan, that would include Pol Pot in the killing fields, right? And over 100 million souls, Thomas, dead. They're gone. And the 3rd lesson I think he learned is no quagmires. We can't send our national treasure on the ground for extended periods of time, in these conflicts. And with the next generation of weaponry, it's now possible. But the premise here is, Thomas, I'll ask you this regime is evil. I'm never going to convince those that don't believe that, but I believe they are, and President Trump was smart enough to take this threat away from our children and grandchildren.
That is such... Oh my God! It's such an infuriating statement to me, and essentially what it does is it boils all of us down to essentially say, well, you guys just don't think that they're evil. You guys don't think that there's bad people in the world. No, I know there's bad people in the world. Some of those bad people are here. Some of those bad people are abroad, but there's bad people everywhere. There's bad people in this country, in that country, and in every single country across the globe. Why in this particular time, in this particular moment, do we have to get involved again? Once again, it's the same thing over and over and over again. WMDs. How do we not see this? This is the same playbook from Iraq. It's the same exact playbook. They're saying, at first they said, they're eventually to 60%. They're weeks away from a bomb. Bibi's been saying this for decades at this point, decades. And then you look up, and the reason why 60% is the key. 60% is the reason why 60% is so important, and they use that, is because apparently from 60% to 90%, which is when it's ready for an atomic weapon, can literally be done in the span of a few weeks, if not a month, with the old centrifuges that are available in Iran. But from my understanding, they've supposedly had 60% for at least 5-6 years. So just play this out for me. You're telling me the Iranians have had 60% enriched, Iranians have had 60% enriched uranium for the past 5 to 6 years. 60% uranium can go to 90% in a few weeks. But they don't have their 90% enriched uranium. And they don't have the capability they don't have nuclear weapons yet, but they're this close. They're this close. I don't know. I'm not really feeling, there's a disconnect there. Something is wrong with this equation. Either they're a regime that is heart set on getting a nuclear weapon just so that they can launch it and just kill everyone that they possibly can. And as of 6 years ago, they were weeks away from that, but postponed it because whatever. I still don't know why. If they were that close 5-6 years ago, why didn't they complete it? At that point, the sanctions were on. This was at the end of Trump's first term. Everything was kind of going relatively well. Nobody was doing anything crazy. They easily could have finished that enrichment and had the bomb. And there you go. Now they're nuclear capable. Now, once that happens, now we got to back off, right? Once that happens, now we got to play nice in the sandbox. Now we got to use kid gloves, and we got to figure this thing out the same way like we're doing with North Korea. Same exact thing. Everybody realizes that once you get a handle on that, once you get the weapon, now you're a big boy. Now you're in the big leagues. Now everybody's got to, you're invited to the nice parties. Everybody's got to play nice with you. If they had that ability, or if they were that close to that capability 6 years ago, and you're telling me to this right now, they have all of the 60% enriched uranium, and it's scattered throughout the entire country, and we have to find it, because within a matter of weeks, that can go to 90, and then they can have a nuke. But they've had this for the past half a decade. So if you're telling me that doesn't just bleed and just emanate weapons of mass destruction argument that we were given all those years ago, I don't know. It's insanity to me. And these guys on the podcast, and Vinny gets into it now, there's been a shift here. There's been a shift here on this. I like this podcast. I like these guys. I like all of them. I think it's a really good, really valuable source of information. I mean, I sit down, I set the schedule, I watch them all week. I watch all their shows because PBD gives an amazing breakdown of the news throughout. But when you add a guy like Hannity in there, and you start with the Fox News angle, which is, come on, that is just neocon all the way. Let's go to war. Let's destroy them. Let's crush them. Let's obliterate this regime. For what reason? Oh, because they say they don't like America. Okay. Missing a lot of people don't like America. Yeah, but they can get nuclear weapons. Okay, they can get nuclear weapons, and can those nuclear weapons reach America? Well, no, they can't reach America, but they can reach our allies. Yeah, but there's a lot of enemies that can reach our allies that, they don't like us. And what is so, like, what's the focal point around this? We all know what it is. And I'm not like that. I don't have that mindset and that view. But it's starting to just become amazingly obvious to me that, what else can it be at this point? There's something that I keep missing, and I keep overlooking it, and I don't want to just focus in on just that. But I just don't know what else it can be at this point. What else can be driving our foreign policy to this degree?
Children, thoughts?
Yeah, it was somewhere between, I didn't vote for new wars. Okay, you don't have to vote for new wars. Nobody voted for, disease either, right? And things happen in life. This,
like that. First of all, I love Tom, but that's not a great statement. Nobody voted for disease. Okay, yeah. All right. So there's a big difference between a disease coming into your country and you blowing somebody up. You actively launching missiles to another country and trying to end the regime, because now they don't want to do regime change. Now this thing is spinning out of control. I don't know how they pull out of this tailspin.
This was necessary. I think everybody has been called to account. All the people that want to deny all the things you just said, Richard.
Again, I don't understand how this is necessary. I don't understand. Like they really have to sell this narrative that they were this close to becoming nuclear capable. They were just like in a matter of days they would have been able to launch a nuke to New York City. Like that's what they're like projecting. That, and it's absolute dog shit. We all know this. These guys know this. So the question is why? Why? What is going on? A lot of people say that. Listen, personally, I don't believe that these guys were bought and paid for by the IDF and stuff like that. That's just dumb. That's just lazy thinking. I think that they have bought the narrative that this was like an imminent threat to the West, and that they say death to America, and they're a tyrannical regime. And I think that they have just steeped in the old right narrative long enough that it's just coming about, and this is what you end up getting. And that's why, like, pretty much anyone that watches Fox News, like, thinks right along these lines. This is like a pretty standard Fox News line of thinking at this point.
Oh, very, very correct. When they launch a rocket that is now capable of going 4,000 miles, you just ask yourself, okay, what are they going to put on top of that rocket? And who exactly are they going to put it on? And once they have that, now you're going to have to constantly manage them. This is what happened when nobody took North.
I'm not sure if you realize, but 4,000 miles, that's still a ways bit away. If I do my math correctly, I don't know if they're hitting the United States with that. So if they have rockets that are 4,000 that can reach 4,000 miles, let's break this down. Let's think about this. If they have rockets that can reach 4,000 miles, and they are saying they want death to the West, they want to kill anybody, 4,000 miles, Iran. You don't think any other country would be maybe freaking the F out over Iran getting a nuclear weapon and their rockets can reach 4,000 miles? Like, and again, I understand the delivery system for a nuke is going to be different. Listen, the delivery system is, they're saying they don't have it yet and they don't have the capability or the ability yet to launch an ICBM nuke. Whatever. Let's, for argument's sake, let's say they can launch a nuke and it can go 4,000 miles. How many other countries should be like chomping at the bit to stop this from happening? America's not even in the ballpark of that. Yet supposedly we have to like go in there and do all the shit that we're doing right now. Like, I don't understand if the sense of urgency that we have right now. How does nobody else in the radius of the 4,000 miles? How is nobody else like freaking the F out? I don't see it. I don't see these other countries going insane over them, the potential of them having the weapon of mass destruction that they supposedly can get in a few weeks, and they have the ability to disseminate that weapon many, many, many miles away accurately. I mean, you would think that other countries would just be like going insane over this, but that you don't see that.
Korea, seriously. And Japan's sitting there, they launched another rocket. It's a little bit closer now. And they were dropping them in the ocean without warheads, showing that, hey, we're getting better and better and longer and more precise. And all of a sudden, oh, damn, they've enriched uranium too. So now, not only do they have, nuclear capability in North Korea, now they have built a rocket, and they built and built and built and built with the technology to get there. So you sit there and say, okay, North Korea can be managed. He could be managed. Even Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-sun, those guys were at least manageable. You know what I mean, Sean? You get to this regime, it's not manageable. North Korea doesn't say, hey, death to America, and I'm willing to die for it, and we're all going to die for it, and we're going to set up suicide squads and all that. No. North Carolina is insane, but they're not insane on like, an embroiled faith that the end result is death, 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 death. It's like you can't negotiate with it. And you look at it, so you can't let it be capable. And people say, no new wars, you shouldn't have done this. I don't want new wars. I don't want $200 billion that needs to go for other things to go for this. I'm as American as anybody else. I don't want that. I said, but when you look at what's going on there, now you see the rocket and say, okay, all right, all you people demonstrating in London, do you see that if you draw a line from Diego Garcia, that same line would reach London? How do you sleep?
Yeah.
And when they tell you, now they want to do this and now they want to do that, oh, wait, what do you do? When they tell you they don't like that you're persecuting rape gangs in the UK, or we're going to bomb you. What do you say then? What do you say when the bully is fully armed with the ability to deliver the bomb and the bomb? And I think Trump has learned all this. I take a lot of heat. They say, oh, there's no new wars and you're just a simp for him. No, I'm not. My president is not perfect. But I think that this one we got right.
I really feel like this one we got really wrong. I mean, like, it's gonna be. I'm willing to listen to anybody, anything, anywhere, anytime. But I really do think we got this one wrong. And I guess the history will play out, and we probably will never know exactly how close they were, or how close they weren't, or what they were gonna do or what they weren't gonna do. But yeah, I just cannot see how we can justify our actions on the basis of them being able to strike allies when we have massive amount of allies in the region that we're not willing to go to this degree. I mean, it's somebody, you know, coming from 10 rows away in a stadium to punch somebody that is sitting right next to me, and that person is like side-eyeing me, and the guy just comes over the top and just knocks him out. Like dude, you weren't even in the area. Like, first of all, he wasn't punching me, and maybe he was looking threatening, but you just come out of nowhere and just strike this guy when we're standing right here. All of Europe is right there. They're right there. That's why this is frustrating. That's why this is, and then the problem is if you keep playing this up and if you keep playing this angle, it's never going to end. The war will never end because you're going to just keep justifying this insanity. The same people that talk shit about the Iraq War. And I think Vinny's going to go on right now. I actually want to hear what he has to say.
Wish that it was easy and as quick as Maduro? Sure we do. Sure we do. But it doesn't mean that somebody's got to stand up for this and somebody's got to pull it back.
Let me follow up, because I think that a lot of people don't get the Trump doctrine. Yes, it's no forever wars, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to use the might and power of the U.S. military. Let's go back. He wiped out ISIS. He took out Soleimani, Baghdadi, dropped the mother of all bombs on Afghanistan, and Midnight Hammer, 14 bunker-busted bombs knocked out their ability to enrich uranium. So that is not, it's not a forever war, but it is strategically smart for our long-term security.
I agree with that. And like, I realized multiple things can exist at the same time. The regime, evil, 1,000%. We spoke about this before the podcast started. If somebody had a gun to your head, and the people, Sean, you're going to represent the Iranian people. If somebody has a gun to your head and they're going to kill you, do you care who kills the gunman? Do you care if they're Jewish, Christian, America, tall, short, transgender? I don't care. I want you to help me kill the person that has a gun to my head. The Iranian people need this, okay? That exists. Does America and Israel and all these different people that are involved, they have their own agenda?
Now you're speaking about the Iranian people, and I know he knows people from there. I know PUD knows people from there. You're speaking for them as a monolith. I'm pretty sure that there are at least some that support this regime, number one. And number two, is the person dead? Like, he's saying that they're threatening to kill them. I mean, as far as I understand, that the majority of the deaths happen, you know, when this uprising happened and the protest started happening. You know what? Let Vinny go on a little bit more. There's a point that I want to hit when it comes to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the one thing, Sean, which people are going to be wary of is, number one, the trust in the government has been at an all-time low. When they see wars, like when I was in during, after 9/11, we went to Iraq, when they were lied to about weapons of mass destruction. They lied every day, weapons of mass destruction. Then we showed up and there was no weapons of mass destruction. That's one of the reasons I left the military. Like, whoa. You guys lied about they had these weapons of mass destruction. 1 million people are dead. Thousands of American soldiers are dead. What the lie? So I can see the skepticism of people and the weariness of, wait a minute, we've heard this before, we've seen it before, but on the twist side of it, Sean, I have to go everywhere. I trust President Trump. Me personally, I have clip after clip of 80s, 90s. He loves America. He always talked crap about China. He's always been about America. And I fall victim to this, Sean. All we do, like we talked about, who's saying this and who's saying that? Like, we're in those meetings. Like, we're in the situation room.
Yeah, but that's also part of the problem. Because part of the problem is, let's be honest. Trump is a boomer. I'm sure he watches Sean Hannity and Fox News all the time. The entire apparatus, the entire right-wing apparatus has been get into a war with Iran. I mean, it's as clear as day. If you sit down, like I do, I watch all the news outlets. But obviously, I'm also watching Fox News. I'm trying to consume things from all sides. If you sit down, you consume that, I'd be ready to go to war with Iran. Like if I was a 75-year-old guy sitting at home, drinking a beer, watching Fox News, I'd be ready to go toe-to-toe with Iran. Because that's what they're doing. They're getting you amped up for this. It's the same playbook over and over and over again. And it's infuriating this time because this time we can see it in real time. And it's like I said, I like these guys, but I just can't believe some of the things that's coming out of their mouths right now.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not in the chessboard looking. They are. I trust him. He loves his country. And at the end of it, Sean, we have to wait. We're how many weeks into it? I think they say that we have a couple weeks left. Let them, just like with the tariffs, let's see what they have to do. I can't jump the gun and be like, oh, it's this or that. Give him some time. I said this a couple of months ago. Let him cook with the tariffs. He did a fantastic job until the Supreme Court freaking cut his legs out from underneath him. Give him time. But we have to understand that there's a lot of trust when it comes to the military and government. You have to understand a little bit of the weariness of the American people.
I don't want to overcomplicate this. So to me, it comes down to this one thing. How long do you negotiate with terrorists? We've been negotiating with this terror regime for 47 updated.
I
I want
can't
to ask you a
take
question, though. So,
Adam,
Sean,
I have a question.
Go, please, go ahead.
Yeah.
What's your point?
You got me, Sean.
Listen, that's what we were doing.
Different
baby.
host,
Thank you very
same
much.
line.
We'll
Way
see
to
you
go.
Monday.
Perfect timing. But let me ask you a question. And Sean, you guys, I want to ask all of you guys. When Midnight Hammer was the first mission, we, like, just put yourself in the American public's eye. We went in, we stopped their nuclear capabilities. That was it. It was clean, in and out, done. You have to at least see the regular average Joe American that's going to work going, wait. You guys said we knocked that out during the summer. Now what changed? Now they have enriched uranium somewhere else? Because at the end of the day, Sean, this is where I know people are upset. This was sold as we're doing it for the Iranian people. Like, and I'm really putting myself there because I know people from Iran. And my mom, who's sitting there, Sean, that you met, she's from Iran. All the people that have been massacred in the streets that were fighting, that Trump said, guys, go and fight and do it. And I love them for that. And God rest all their souls. A wrestler they hanged last week for freaking protesting and doing what he was doing. And God bless him for doing it. You have to understand, Adam, the people are like, well, okay, we haven't heard from the people because they have no internet. Now we're saying, oh, they have uranium and all that stuff. You have to understand that the people are like, I thought we took all that out in the summer. Because if it's for the people, I haven't heard, because Sean, are we going to put in a leader that we're going to pick that's going to run them? Do you think their military is going to go, America's putting this guy in? Yeah, we're going to follow him. Do you understand how difficult I think that? I don't think anybody's thinking about that part.
So let me take it to the next level. So
but before he even goes there, I mean, Vinny hits another point, and he says at some point in time during the cast that we got to take them all out, we got to finish the job, we got to eradicate them all. Let me just again. I love this guy. I think he is actually fantastic. He's very good. He's very sharp. He's very funny. But they spend. Let me take a look here. They spend in the very beginning of this podcast, between 8 minutes in and 14 minutes, they call it a prayer to start the show. They spend 5, 6, 7 minutes in some sort of a prayer. They're all Christian, except for Adam's Jewish. And they take their time and they thank their God and whatever. I don't understand how, especially how. I don't speak about my religion or anything like that. But I don't understand how somebody of that particular faith or any faith that I'm aware of can really just say we have to take them all out. Like we have to obliterate them. We have to destroy them. We have to end them. At the end of those statements, like people have to realize that when you're speaking like that, when you're saying take them out, obliterate them, end them, you're talking about killing people. And obviously, there's always innocence that gets caught up in this. Always. That's how war is. In the same way that he's saying that they would kill us and they would do this to us and they would do that to them and they would do all these things to us. Well, guess what? We're doing all that to them right now. And regardless of what I think about them or how I feel, the fact still remains. You've had some terror groups here and there. But take all that stuff and let's say that school thing was America, which it seems like it was. And it was accidental, which it seems like it was. Apparently there was some AI coordinates. Who knows what the truth is now? But for the most part, it seems like we hit a school by accident. And in that school was over 100 children. There were reports of anywhere between 140 and 160, anywhere from 100 to 170 kids, mostly girls. If you add up all the terrorist attacks that have happened to Iran in this country, do you equal that number? Do you get to that point? Again, it's just one of those things where I do want to give them a bit of latitude and a bit of grace. And I do think that the majority of the decisions that Trump and his administration have made have been fairly good. And if given the time and if given, when you play it all out, I do think that they overall do a good job. We didn't want a war. We didn't want innocents to die. We didn't want our people to die. This is not what we signed up for. And if the collateral damage of all this, already in the very beginning, in the first days, was more than, you know, what Iran has done to us over the past 10 years, how can you justify it? How can you justify that? I don't know. I love this country. I love my son's in the Marines. He's serving right now. And I wanted him to. I was very happy. But I didn't think that we were going to get into this situation once again. So, everybody already left at this point. So, if anyone is still here, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the new subs. And yeah, I don't know. I hope every single day that I wake up and they just say we're done, we're out of here, we're good. The longer it goes, the less I see that happening. At this point, I don't care about the midterms anymore. I don't even care about elections anymore. I don't care about it's kind of all bullshit now. I mean, I'm starting to finally, I guess people are probably going to be saying, oh, you finally woke up to that. None of that shit matters at all. Literally at all. I mean, some of it, you know, like a lot of my buddies got a lot of good tax, got a big tax return. That's really nice. You know, middle class people getting a little bit of their money back. It's nice when you think it's nice that they take the money away from you and they give you a little bit back and you're happy about it. But on the whole, it's all the same shit. And that's why I think this is getting very discouraging for me. The more I do this, the more I'm just wondering, like what the hell? But yeah, let me know what you guys think. This right now is going out into the ether. Probably no one will see it, but for the few of you that do, thank you guys very much. I am John Soto. If you want to follow me on X, 6283talk is my account on X. And I'll see you on the next video, or I won't. Take care.